So welcome everyone to this Sagittarius full moon or full blue moon celebration. I think in the advertisement, I called it a preview. I think I may need to do that because I keep getting these emails that say, the full moon isn't until. I'm giving you a little window because there's a lot here. And I think most of you that are here know that. So, at any rate, let's get going. Let's call in sacred space. Let's take a big deep breath in. And as we exhale, drop those grounding cords. Send your roots down, down, down into the earth. And give it a minute. Let yourself connect. And then inhale, draw that earth energy up, up, up. Through your body, send it up and out, through the top of the head, connecting with the heart of the divine above us. And then inhaling, drawing that cosmic energy back down through your body, sending it all the way back down into the earth, activating the as above, so below flow. And then connecting with that flow, breathing in, breathing out. Activate the as within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. Moving to the north, we welcome Mother Earth. We give such great thanks to be here in physical bodies, doing this sacred work on the planet right now. Moving to the south, we welcome water. We welcome clear, clean, current emotions. We welcome love, joy, flow, and abundance into our circle. Moving to the west, we welcome air, mind, focus, and clarity. All of our guides, angels, allies, and helpers in the invisible realm. And moving to the east, we welcome fire and movement and passion, divine right action. Moving to the center, we welcome our divine feminine and our divine masculine in sacred right relationship. We call that beautiful energy. Down through our bodies, we call up Mama Gaia to pull and magnetize that energy through us. And we welcome our own sweet, extraordinary souls into the circle. We ask that all of these energies be with us, pray with us, and dance with us for our mutual benefit. And yes, the music is going to work today. Feels good to be back. Okay, let's get started. I'm sorry. Take a moment and just feel into your body. I already know what you're feeling, but I want you to be aware of it. So just take a second and breathe and see if you can drop out of your head and into your body. And I know right now, even when you do that, it doesn't feel like you're there. There's a reason. We're going to talk about that. But there is a balance. We're talking about that too. So just notice and take another breath and try to do it again. Really send your roots down. There you go. So there's a reason that we all feel kind of like we stuck our hand in a light socket. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to give you the background first, because there's a lot of things that, and we're going to go. So the most recent was yesterday. Mars and Taurus square each other. The intensity of this specific one, and there's going to be more of these little excursions happening. I'm hitting the highlights. So there's a reason when you look at the grand scheme of things and what this time is about, where change is afoot. We've been talking about the age of Aquarius since I was a little girl. You know, the songs, all of it has been out there. And we've moved, all of us, most of it, all of us that are here on this call have moved through the last 26 years. And, you know, that was the beginning. And that was just the getting ready to get ready. We're crossing a threshold now. And the planets are lining up for catastrophic change, not in a scary way, just in a huge way. So that intensity, you know, all the big planets, we already know this, they're all in their places where they've moved, where they're going to be from here on for a very long, for years of time. But the biggest force behind the most recent rumbling is Mars and Taurus. So remember, I told you the 17th of this month was the ending date of fast pace. And yes, I think all of us can feel that in our bodies. Mars is definitely in Taurus, and we're definitely exhausted from the live wires that we were a month ago or 2 weeks ago. And Mars is letting us feel that, and is probably not going to let us move very fast. But it is also squaring Pluto in Aquarius, that air sign, that big air sign. And Pluto's been there for a while. It's 5 degrees in. So it can, when these two get together like this, and they're a square, so it's kind of like, what it's going to feel like, and you may have already experienced, I experienced this yesterday, which you may experience even with all of the safeguards that you put in: anger, exhaustion, control struggles, long-standing pressure suddenly surfaces. Or it may have been, excuse me, building and you knew it, and you're putting all those safeguards in because most of us in here are women. We have all been trained to keep the peace, to hold the, hold it, just keep everybody calm, hold it down, take it into our bodies. And we may have reached a point where we can't do that anymore. We really have. I mean, that's what this is about. Long-standing pressure can suddenly surface. People feel more reactive, defensive, territorial, emotionally combustible, and it may feel like a breaking point. And, yesterday I had an experience where at one point my daughter's looking at me going, I can't do this anymore. And then in the afternoon, she's going, the morning wasn't that bad, was it? That's what I mean. That kind of just crazy, chaotic soup. But Pluto, I want you to understand, this isn't just to drive us nuts and to stir the pot. Remember, you're going to see why at the end of this presentation. Pluto isn't about destruction. It's just here to go, honey, you got to quit holding that. Let's just fix it. So it's about looking at things that are unsustainable. And what's unsustainable for most of us is us keeping the peace all the time and taking that, being the shield for that. The solution, as I alluded to earlier, Mars in Taurus, ground, return to your body, protect your nervous system. And Mars is going to be that, if Mars was in Aries, we'd be a mess by now. He's in Taurus to keep us grounded and make sure this works. Okay? Because everything else is in Gemini. It's all up here. New ideas, blah, blah, blah. And we'll get to that in a minute. I found this on the internet. I wanted to read it because what no longer can be suppressed will eventually demand release. Okay, that's what this is. And so now it's here. It's not just a moment in time. This is going to hold for a minute. These planets are big and they don't move that fast. So pressure builds, tension rises, suppressed emotions surface, power struggles. What you've outgrown no longer can be ignored. Let that one land. Transformation is not optional. The forge is now heating and something is being tempered. Fire reveals what the soul can no longer carry silently. You have heard me say this in here many times. Say the thing. You don't have to be, if you don't wait till the pressure is so high, what this time is about, and I'll say this again when we get towards the end, is not about, oh my gosh, I got to set big intentions. I got to do la, la, la. I got to release, release, release. It is about release. This is a full moon and it's a blue moon. But it's about going, just taking an inventory, just feeling into your body, feeling into your nervous system. What has you wound really tight? And how can you address it? And just writing down those things. That'll get it out of your head and out into the physical realm so you could actually do something about it. The magical thing about doing this, you lay that piece of paper on your altar, a lot of it'll work itself out just because you acknowledged it, just because you looked at it. So the questions for this part, just write these down. You'll have time to work on them here in a minute. What feels unsustainable? And remember, this isn't just personal. This is global. There are lots of issues on the table that many of us are concerned about, data centers and water being one of them. What is unsustainable? And how? And so that's the only question you have to answer, both for yourself and maybe globally. And how can I support my body right now? How can we support the planet's body right now? Just write those down, and we're going to keep going, and then you can come back. That's why we do this 5 days early. So here's what happened on Sunday. We're going backwards, so you can just see the buildup. But if you want to understand why everything may have blown up yesterday, that's why. And why you can get ahead of this by not waiting until the full moon. Because Sagittarius full moon is just going to amplify everything. So on Sunday, there was an exact conjunction between Uranus in Gemini and Sedna. And she's in Gemini too. So they've been tracking together because they're big and slow for a while. But when they come together in a conjunction like that, right on top of each other, it's like, bing, it gets loud. And this happened in the first 10 degrees of Gemini. So it gets really loud. This is the first time Uranus has been here since the 1940s. We said that last time. But already that's why everything feels electric. It feels just like phonetic energy all the time. Gemini, and this is why it feels like no matter how hard you try, you may not be able to get out of your head. Welcome to my world, y'all. Gemini is the sign of language, learning, communication, thought, and your nervous system. So that's the first piece. Uranus is all about, let's wake up. Let's do this. Let's shake things up a little bit. I've got all these new ideas. We can't wait to get them all implemented. Whee! And then Sedna, now she has a very interesting story. If you don't know her story, look it up. But she is the keeper of the waters, and specifically the creatures, the dolphins, the whale. She's the keeper of them. And there's all kinds of weird energy between her and her father, and he does some horrible things, but she's connected. She was exiled. She's connected with exile. She's connected with ancestral memory, survival instinct, collective trauma, and deep wisdom that emerges when old worlds collapse. That's what we're in, folks. So for those three energies to be kind of mixed together in a soup, you're going to have heightened intuition, which many of you probably already have, heightened synchronicities, sometimes really odd ones, increased sensitivity to media. I was reading somewhere, obviously on the media, where it only takes 30 minutes to be on a screen, even this one, sorry, for it to start messing with your brain cells. And people are on it nonstop. So you want to be aware of that. Get yourself outside. I made myself put the screens away and read a book for 2 days. It changed my nervous system for sure. Information overload, and then awareness of deeper conversations happening beneath the ordinary words. So those weird sensations when you hear a conversation, but you really know there's a deeper layer. So that happened Sunday. Before that, on the 22nd, there was a Uranus cazimi with the sun. So both the sun and Uranus were in Gemini, and Uranus hit the center point of the sun, which was the Kazim. So it was just, so that phonetic energy has been building. And now we have all the other players moving into the mix, because the outside dynamic, from my perspective, appears to be, bing, let's change things up. And then, okay, let's use it constructively. Here comes Mars and Pluto. Get yourself grounded and figure out what isn't sustainable. So now here's 2 more questions for just this much. What wisdom have we abandoned in favor of endless noise and stimulation? And that's the addiction to our phones right there. Oh, Sarah, yes, I totally understand. And I'm holding you, my dear. And then how do we learn to hear our own signal again? And this can be challenging when there's so many signals out there volleying for our attention. So that's just the buildup to what's coming on Sunday morning, really Saturday night. Thank goodness, Sarah, but still rattle. So shaking things up, that's kind of a good little example there. So this Sunday morning at 3 a.m. Central Time, whatever that is for you. So if you're going to do big ceremony, Saturday night would be the night, because this is when it peaks. This is a full blue Sagittarius moon, which means two full moons in the same month, same calendar month. And it's a full moon. So once again, we're looking at what can we release? What do we still want to shed as we move into this new realm of change? And themes for Sag are adventure, exploration, higher learning, philosophy, religion, all the big things. Expansion, expansion, expansion. Anything Sag touches, it makes it bigger. So everything that I've just gone over, that's just going to get louder. And it's going to peak at this full moon. So we have this nice little window where we can sit down and be quiet with ourselves and go, okay, there's probably some things that are unworkable here. What do I need? What do I want to address? And like I said, just letting yourself take the time to do that, preferably outside with your bare feet on the ground, will be very beneficial. Now, the thing you need to watch for with Sag, and you've probably already seen this, and you will see it some more, is dogmatism, arrogance, self-righteousness. I alone know the truth. Try having conversations with your adult children. You will never be right, not for a long time. So, you may want to learn to keep your own counsel and do your prayer work deliberately. But questions to ask just for this full moon. Notice I'm giving them to you in a different way, little snippets. Take time to write them down. What truth, this is for the full moon itself, what truth is becoming clear? For many of us, it means that truth might be, I am not invincible. Although we've been playing like we are. What needs adjustment? And here's the big one, the good one, the exciting one. What larger purpose is calling you forward? Because this is the thing that maybe you've tucked in a drawer somewhere. Maybe you have known it all your life and you've never done anything with it. This is your moment of opportunity. And we're going to see that in just a minute. So looky here. Woohoo! This is the chart. So as you can see, there's a lot of activity. I'm going to put you all down here at the bottom so we can look at this. So the main thing I want you to notice right here is this big cross happening. And that is the full moon squaring the nodes. So here you have the full moon in Sag. You have the sun in Gemini. They're directly across from each other. Fire and air, combustion. And then here's the north node in Pisces and the south node in Virgo. So earth connection, water connection. So this is, it's got all the elements together and they're all at crosses with each other, basically. They're squaring all of them. So I'm going to go over what that means, but I wanted you to see the picture because each one has stuff attached to it. So the full moon squaring the nodes, just the nodes, life purpose, destiny, karmic direction, karmic themes, because north node directs your life purpose, south node is what you brought with you. So questions for this little part. Am I aligned with why I came here, with what I'm here, with what I promised the divine I would do? Am I aligned with that? Does my life generate vitality and enthusiasm? And you may not feel very enthusiastic right now or vital. And that is your nervous system saying hello. Am I living authentically? Am I really being true to who I say I am, who I want to be? And just like I mentioned, the South Node can bring old karma, previously developed gifts to support whatever you're here to do now. So it's your default. It's what you know how to do already. But it can also bring old wounds that you may need to clear. And yet it can bring past life talents. So both those gifts and unresolved stuff are going to show up. And that's why Mars is our anchor right now. Mars in Taurus is going to give us time to settle our nervous systems and get clear. Okay. So the other thing I'll show you here, see all these triangles? They're all connected with Neptune. I'm not going to go over each one, but you can see them. Those are trines, triangle, trine. Those are usually supportive. They're not quite as scratchy as squares. So I'm going to go over each one. So the moon is trine with Neptune, Vesta, Pallas Athena, Saturn, and Saturn. So the Neptune one, spiritual connection, inspiration, mystical awareness. So this can be a very fruitful, very connected time. The Vesta, she's the goddess of benevolence, and she empowers selfless service, sacred dedication, meaningful contribution. Pallas Athena is going to support strategic action, feminine assertiveness, diplomacy, negotiation, cunning and intelligence, and she's excellent at resolving conflicts skillfully. So the thing I haven't spoken into is what's going on the global scene. And for most of us, that's where the overwhelm comes. There's too much, which is why I've been promoting the light infusion, because it's a way that you can manage that. But Pallas Athena, it's like, just because there's this big shakeup and you see all of this stuff happening astrologically and happening on the global stage, does not mean that we are powerless. It just means it's like there's opportunity here to, instead of just going, oh, I don't know what to do, I'm just not going to think about it. Think about it. What needs to happen so that we can shift to the planet that we know this planet can be? What are the ground rules we need to lay down? What are the new things that we've known it was ours to implement in our lives, personally, globally? Now's the moment where we sit down and take that assessment. And then Saturn, this is how we be. It's like with Pallas Athena and Saturn supports maturity, responsibility, manifestation, practical implementation, long-term structure. It grounds and stabilizes. So we have Mars and Taurus with that grounding energy in the inner planets, and then this big Saturn energy grounding and stabilizing us. We can make change happen personally and globally in very productive ways. And that's what we should be holding. That's what we should be looking at. That's what we should be thinking about. And how do we do that? And how do we see those structures move into form? And then finally, Eris is sesquare the full moon. So she brings the theme of productive disruption, which is really what this is. What needs to be shaken up? Here's some questions. What needs shaking up? What imbalance needs attention? And how can distortion or discord become constructive transformation? Folks have to be open to some of those changes, but that's the threshold that we're at right now. So hopefully you've written down some of those questions. We're going to have some time here, a little bit of time for you to journal with them, because here's the Sabian symbol. You know, they always, I never do these, but I thought this one was cool. The Sabian symbol for this full moon is the golden goddess of opportunity. Now, it doesn't, you know, it's for someone with a Taurus Venus that just likes everything to be stable, it can sound chaotic, but it's an opportunity to take care of those things that have been dogging you and draining your energy for years, to make the adjustment, to do the thing, to say the thing. So go over those questions, take some time to ponder. I'm going to give you some journal time, and then we're going to do a light infusion. So come up with the beginnings. I'll word the light infusion so that it takes into account all the things you write down later. But what do you need to clear in this Sagittarian full moon period? And you can just begin making your list or answering those questions. Take about another minute to finish up. And because this is a light infusion, you want to have maybe an intention or two or a desired outcome. I like to use that word better. Things you want to release or address. And we'll put those in as well as anything you write in the future for this full moon. All right, I'm going to invite all of you to put your pens and pencils down and just settle so you can open to receive. Ordinarily, I do this with music, but if I do that, I can't upload it to YouTube. So we're going to do it without the music, but it'll be like a guided meditation so that you can begin to feel and connect to your soul versus just your head. And then we'll impute, draw in your own sacred geometry and allow it. You certainly can use music on your end if you can figure out a way to do that. That's awesome. If you want to play some background music on your phone, you're certainly welcome to do that. So everyone just take a few, just close your eyes and settle. Sometimes I find it helpful to put my hand on my heart, and even your hand on your womb space, another hand on your womb space, if that feels comfortable to you. But we want to focus on our heart center. And just begin to breathe. And many of you that have been around the block with me for a while know that in the center of our heart, our physiological heart is the original version of the day we were born. Actually, the day we were conceived. The moment the light from the divine exploded and those cells came together, your heart began forming. And those cells called you here, called your light specifically here. The love they felt for you is unimaginable. And the love that you, the soul of you, felt for them is bigger still. The soul of you had such huge love for this planet and this experience that it left the safety of its home to come here. And right now, maybe under your awareness, maybe not, there is still a love fest going on between all of those cells, deep in the center of your heart. So imagine that you can go to that place that is just filled with light and love that resides within you. And let yourself be, your conscious awareness, be in that love. And the more you go there, the bigger and brighter that love and that light become. So send your conscious awareness there. Let yourself feel that. Let it begin to grow. That's what we call your source light center point. I want to acknowledge and connect all of you to that source light center point. And I ask that you shine that light up through your golden spiral, that beam of light that runs up and down your body, and activate your source light energy field. That beautiful crystalline field that is connected to source all around you, bigger than your electromagnetic field, way out around you. I ask that we do that for this light infusion treatment. I infuse the frequencies of safety, protection, and harmony in your source light energy field. I activate within your Merkaba the harmony of the original sacred geometries of this planet. And I activate all the source light symbols and the 60 light frequencies in your source light point, your golden spiral, and your source light energy field. I infuse into your source light point, your golden spiral, and your source light energy field this light infusion treatment. I activate the harmonies of these geometries, outcomes, and frequencies within your source light energy field and shine these energies out into your world to bless everyone, everything, every situation you meet. I ask that we connect individually to our personal source light energy points, our source light and our source light energy fields, and that our fields connect to and through the source light energy field of Gaia. I ask that your source light system be cleared of anything not supportive of your source light. May you stay in alignment with love and source, and may your light shine and bless all beings. I now engage your source light point and your source light energy field to initiate and activate opportunities for healing, growth, excuse me, restoration, and creation I anchor in 5 origination symbols at your 3 source light energy centers, at your head, at your heart, and at your low belly, to hold and support the fulfillment of the following outcomes and frequencies. Maintained connection to our own personal source light, our own personal souls. That deep, deep, deep center of our heart. Restoration of balance to our material world in all aspects. A new era of peace and restoration on planet Earth for all beings. I ask that we receive the new light coming in ways that serve us and those we love. Open-hearted joy for all beings. And your desired outcomes, both those that you've already written today and those that you will write for this Sagittarius full moon. With the frequencies of insight, reverence, openness, imagination, and empowerment. I declare these outcomes to be so and infuse and integrate completion into your source light point, your golden spiral, and your source light energy field. As these energies are activated and engaged, I close this light infusion in the light. And so it is. So you can let yourself begin to come back. Roll your shoulders, wiggle your fingers and toes. We're going to dance and activate all of those intentions, all of those desired outcomes. But I do want to plug Light Infusion 103. We begin June 4th, so next Thursday at 11 Central Time. We only meet once a month. It's that big. And I can't guarantee that this is going to come around again live. It'll come around again as recordings. But if you're one of those people that you won't go to class unless it's live and it'll sit in your box forever, don't wait. Do it now. All right, loves. Let's get up and move and activate all that we've done today. Here we go. All right, everyone. We'll stop the share so you can see each other. I give such great thanks to the elemental forces for holding space for us today. I give thanks for all these beautiful souls that are doing their sacred work on the planet. And I close this circle in the light. All right, lovelies. I will see you soon. 2
Thanks,
weeks, if
Kathy.
not before. See you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.